Let's focus in on this idea of surface tension. If you ever looked at, say, a droplet of water that's just sitting on the surface, and you see it forms this little round droplet. Well, what's holding together that droplet is the surface tension between the water molecules. So if we look at the droplet here, we would have surface tension that is trying to keep the water molecules connected with each other. That's what the surface tension is. And it causes it to bead up into this nice spherical shape. Now this presents a problem for the lung, because let's go ahead and look at what happens here. If we have here our alveolar sac, right? So each of these is an alveolus. We have to have fluid that sits on the surface of the lung. And this surface, with its surface tension, is trying to pull that water into a droplet and pull and tug on those cells as they do it. So now you can imagine that if this water were to try to pull itself into a droplet and pull the alveoli with it, you would have a collapse. So you would collapse the alveoli. Now, why doesn't this happen? Well, this doesn't happen because, remember, there were these special cells that sat in, and I'm going to draw it in green here. So there are these special cells that sit within the respiratory membrane, and these are type 2 alveolar cells. And they secreted this surfactant. So they release surfactant. And this surfactant serves to decrease the surface tension. And it decreases it so this collapse doesn't happen. A very important function here. So what the surfactant does is it comes in and it disrupts the what we call the hydrogen bonding between water molecules of the airway surface liquid. And this is what decreases the surface tension so that this doesn't happen. This collapse does not happen. And in fact, the lung has to employ multiple different strategies to prevent collapse, because there are a lot of natural forces that are trying to collapse the lung down, and the way that the lungs work is that they must remain inflated. So one of these strategies to counteract collapse is surfactant.